It's 39 of me trying to improve my speaking skill. Today I'm gonna focus on improving my conciseness. It's gonna be the same. I'm gonna talk about habits, the overview about habit and the impact of habit on lots of people lives. That sounds bad. Habits on people. I've done literally like five videos talking about this, but it's still not sufficient from my expectations, so I'm gonna do more about it. So let's start it on the topic. So, what is habit? Habits is a thing that we do repeatedly until at a certain point that we just get used to it and we are be able to do it naturally. How habits works are basically like when you do a repeated actions and then you kind of we kind of need something, a cue, something to pop up first to do certain kind of actions. So for example, for someone who are into social media, then whenever they see their phone, they would try to open it and open social media for doom scrolling. That's called a cue. My phone is a cue for me in my habits. That's just a narrow example of all of the habits. Habits are everywhere. The way we walk, the way we talk, the way that I'm speaking, and how I'm trying to change my style of speaking. It's all habits. The thing about habit is that it's part of the subconscious system of us, and we are basically in our subconscious system most of the time. Subconscious thoughts, subconscious actions, subconscious yeah, subconscious thoughts and subconscious action. Only a tiny bit of time, like several hours a day, can we have conscious thoughts. And that's for someone who try to put effort in trying to think logically and conscious. So why? Because habits are literally everywhere in our daily lives, and it's just integrated into every part of our actions, our speak, our speech, and our thoughts. It's just an irremovable thing that affects our life. So for someone who wants to achieve anything in life, some things that are a bit hard, or someone just wants to have a more fulfilling and a happier life, they gotta understand how habits actually work and how do we gain the capability to know about our habits and have the ability to change our habit to the way that we want, because lots of people don't aware of a lot of their habit, many of their habits, either it's bad or good for their goals. And the thing, because habit is literally everywhere, it just becomes part of our identity. Think about that. When a kid stutter, when someone stutter too much in their speech or their daily conversation, normal conversation, daily life, people would just mock that kid as the kid who just stutter. That's just kind of identity. And for someone with that confidence or with a timid person, it's all just about habit. So how do we become aware of habits? The thing is, we gotta observe. We gotta consciously look at our action. Just like now, when I'm talking, this is a kind of habit. When we are doom scrolling, we gotta be conscious that we are in our habit and what is the cue that activates our habit. Lots of things. When we are driving in some kind of driveway, what's the thing that triggers for us to turn left, turn round, or stop, or just accelerate? Lots of different things. We gotta just observe. Maybe get some kind of track record and write it on paper, or maybe get put on some video. But so you gotta observe and analyze it. See if it's bad, if it's a bad habit for our health, It's just wasting time with no real usage, with no real value added into our day. Or maybe it's a good habits that it needs to be kept. And the way that we can change our habit are just becoming aware of it, right? That's the first and the most important step. The second thing is just get some discipline, the discipline and just apply our understanding of habits into our daily life. Remove all the cool, all of the environmental thing that trigger our bad habits, like put the phone on another room or in the way in places that we can't see to stop our doom scrolling habits. For example, maybe try to meditate or try something to keep our emotional in check so that we don't lash out on other people. That's also a thing. Get some kind of poster, right, and um, stick into the wall on your house and say something as be calm or calm down or some kind of thing. That's changing our environment to cool. I don't know. I'm gonna search how to say about that. Mm, and just the second thing is just trying to change our habits, trying to keep consistent actions and consistent thoughts for at least 30 days. And that's just gonna remove the habit, trying to remove the habits by other kind of action, not trying to of consciously avoid trying to do something because our mind are better at replacing than trying to remove something out of our life entirely. That would take much more time than just replacing with something else that are better. Based on my experience, I'm not sure about the science behind it, but in my experience, I that's that's applicable for me. Applicable. Gonna search about that. Working on my pronunciation for sure. Consistency is key. The way that we form new habits are basically just trying to do something consistently every day, or maybe every week at a certain time for around 30 days. And if we really want it to be a real long term habit over many years, then we gotta repeat it for more than hundred years from articles that I've read. Another few minor thing that we gotta remember about habit is that habit is like momentum. It's like a snowball rolling down on top of the mountain down to the hill. It become bigger and bigger, and as we repeated our habit repeatedly, it's become harder for us to break the habit and to just forget about it and do something else. But when we break that momentum, we break that habit. For example, when we sleep at a fixed at a certain amount of time every day, 8 hours a day, really healthy habit. But then we can go and party with other friends, and we didn't sleep that night. It's gonna be pretty hard to recover. Like we can still recover and get that habit back in comparison to people that don't have that habit before, but still gonna take kind of lots of effort to get back onto the habit that we are doing. Habits are hard to build and are pretty easy to break if we are not conscious of our action. But having habits to push us toward doing things that are useful to our goals are things that keep us healthy is still a useful thing that we should keep in mind. A bit longer than 9 minutes though, but man, I do cover most of the info about habits and it's not really lengthy, so it's gonna be a pass for now. I'm gonna focus on my pronunciations and my vocab and additionally with some kind of grammar more on the future. I'm gonna talk about habits in future video, but it's not gonna be in the near future. Probably after the 100th, then I'm gonna try to be more concise and persuasive about this topic. That's it for day 39. See ya.